But as one German once told me, whoever's doing our PR, the Canadian PR, is doing a great job. Hello, my name is Megan Ruth. I'm a Canadian living in London, England. I've been here for a few years, and I love making videos about my life here in London and British culture. So any Canadian who lives or travels abroad will tell you that they've run into this situation at least once, when they're meeting someone new and that person asks them,
"So what part of America are you from?"
Which is a valid question in the sense that Canada is a part of America because Canada is in North America, so the continent of America, or North America. So it is valid in that sense, but I can tell you that most people, if not all people asking that question, don't mean the continent of North America. They mean the States, or the United States of America. Because, surprise, my accent, or the Canadian accent, sounds very similar to the American accent. And people just don't know how to tell the difference. And that's fine, I'm used to it by now. I mean, it still kind of stings when people assume I'm American, but you know what? It is what it is. I can't control it. Actually, wait, no, I can control it. Hence this video. So I thought I would do a service to anyone who's not Canadian or American, or even American, because sometimes Americans actually think I'm American as well. So there's that. Just to anybody who's not a Canadian to know when they're talking to a Canadian. Before we begin, please do remember to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you want. No pressure, but I would love you forever and thank you very much. So the first way to identify a Canadian in the wild is just by their clothing, because we do like to wear Canadian branded clothing with the maple leaf and all that jazz, especially when we're traveling. And we do this because people generally like Canadians better than Americans. I don't know why. Actually, meh. We have a really good rap around the world. Globally, people like Canadians. I don't know if it's because we're really nice, we apologize a lot, and we have a decently okay looking person as our prime minister. Yeah. But as one German once told me, whoever's doing our PR, the Canadian PR, is doing a great job. So we generally are liked globally. So we like to be identified as Canadian by wearing Canadian branded clothing and stuff. But this is not always a good way to identify Canadians because Americans do this too. Americans know Canadians are loved globally, so they will wear Canadian branded clothing as well. So don't trust this all the time. Don't trust this. Another way to identify a Canadian as a Canadian is by our accents. This is more difficult and very nuanced, so you have to kind of train your ear to identify the Canadian accent over the American accent. Hey guys, future Megan editing this video here. I just wanted to clarify, I am basing this off of my accent. Canada has multiple different accents as well as the States, but I am comparing this from my accent from Toronto, and I'm comparing it against the standard American accent, which is what you would normally hear on TV and film. And generally speaking, a lot of American accents do follow these rules as well, so it is comparable with many different accents in the States, but I'm not claiming to say this is the case for every single accent. Just wanted to put that out there. But here are some tips. So the Canadian accent is more forward in the mouth, and the American accent is more back in the mouth. So for example, sorry. If someone says sorry, they are likely Canadian. If someone says sorry, they are likely American. And of course we have about. The O sound is more open in the American accent over the Canadian accent. So for example, in Canada, we would say top. In America, or the States, they would say top. It's more open. Vowels are more open and wider in the American accent over the Canadian accent. And of course we say A. That is a stereotype, which is kind of true, and I argued against it for so long, and then I spent time away from Canada, and then every time I go back now I just hear it all the time, and it's true, we do say A. You know, stereotype true. And then we have some Canadian slang that is not used in America or the States. I say America. I need to stop saying America. The States. Canadian slang that's not used in the States. If you're talking to someone and they say they have to use the washroom, that probably means they're Canadian, because washroom is a very Canadian word. In the States, they would say restroom or bathroom, But in Canada, we would typically say washroom, at least in Ontario. I don't know if that's widely used over the whole country of Canada, but definitely in Ontario, we would say washroom. If it's the middle of winter and someone says, I'm just gonna put my toque on, they're a Canadian, because toque is a Canadian word. It means hat, you know, beanie, beady, hat type thing. You know what I'm wearing. This is exactly what I mean. It's what I'm wearing. This is a toque. A toque. If for some reason you are doing the alphabet or you are referencing the letter Z, we would say Z and not Z, because in America they say Z. In Canada, we say Z, like the Brits. Another Canadian slang is keener, means that you're a suck-up, essentially, a goody two-shoes. Keener, very Canadian slang right there. If you're going to buy some beer and someone says, pick me up a 2-4, that means they want you to pick up a case of 24 bottles. That's a Canadian slang. If you're going on a liquor run and someone says, pick me up a Mickey of vodka, they don't mean Mickey Mouse. They mean a 375 milliliter bottle of vodka. A Mickey is a 375 milliliter bottle of spirits. Very common amongst the university crowd. Pick me up a Mickey of vodka. That's what it means, and you're talking to a Canadian. Very different than the States. They do not use the word Mickey. So if you hear the word Mickey in relation to alcohol, that means you are talking to a Canadian. If someone mentions poutine, you know that is Canadian, because poutine is our national food, and it's just delicious. It is French fries, gravy, and cheese curds, and it is mwah, mwah. And I can say that as a vegan because I tried it before I was vegan, so ha! I don't know where these words would be used anywhere else in the world because we can't spend Canadian money abroad, but toonie and loony. Toonie is a $2 coin and a loony is a $1 coin. So I don't know why you would use those words anywhere else than Canada, but if someone mentions a toonie or a loony, that probably means that they're Canadian. The last one is something I just learned, actually. I did not know this. If someone is referring to their electric bill as their hydro bill, you're talking to a Canadian. Apparently, hydro isn't electricity everywhere else in the world. It's just electricity in Canada. In Canada, hydro is hydroelectricity. So when we say the hydro bill, we mean the electric bill. But apparently that's not the case anywhere else. And I just learned that today. So fun fact. Hey guys, future Megan again, editing this video. So I am very ashamed to say that I forgot a classic Canadian slang. I apologize to any Canadians watching this that I forgot to mention this, but I forgot to mention double double. So double double, a double double, is a coffee order. Specifically, it would be at Tim Hortons, which is a Canadian coffee store chain, and it includes 2 cream, 2 sugar in your coffee. So if you're ordering a double double, you're ordering 2 cream, 2 sugar in your coffee. And I know that if you were to mention a double double anywhere else in the world, the person behind the counter would not know what the hell they're talking about. But if you're with someone and they mention a double double, or that's how they take their coffee, they mean 2 cream, 2 sugar, and they're Canadian. I hope this video was educational. I hope the next time you're talking to someone that sounds American, you can just take a couple moments and think, is there anything in this person's vocabulary or accent that tells me that they're Canadian? So I don't have to wrongly assume that they're American when they're Canadian. I hope this helps. I don't know. That's it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.